So it all boils down to this, folks. One game to rule it all. That's right. It's the FA Cup final. It's Man City. It's Palace. Is there any hope? We'll talk about it next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about the FA Cup final, that's right, a trip to Wembley for Manchester City. They know where to go, they know where to park, they know all the good stuff, but standing in the way are maybe the surprise package. Can Crystal Palace go out and, of course, the major shock for this season's FA Cup final? Take a look at it, all of it, in a second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe and your one-stop shop for FA Cup, Blackburn Rovers, World Football. We're going all here under one brewski, that's right, just right around the corner. Massive, massive game for Crystal Palace. And of course, it looks like it could be just business as usual for Manchester City. Can they get their hands on a bit of silverware? We'll take a little look in just a second. Big shout out to the members and the Patreons. You know who you are. But what we do now, though, of course, is revisit how we got to this stage, first and foremost, by looking back at those semi-final spots. So, sit tight, hold on, let's go on a journey right here, right now. That's right, it is the FA Cup final, that's right. What am I talking about? Well, we're talking about, of course, the semi-finals first and foremost, before we really roll back the years with the rundown of how we got to that stage. Alrighty then, folks, let's roll back to the clock to, of course, those semi-finals and, of course, check a little look at my predictions and, of course, the scorelines. That's right, kicking it all off with Crystal Palace against Aston Villa. Of course, I have got a bit of a soft spot for Palace these days, courtesy of Adam Wharton's residence in the middle of the park. That's right, it's phenomenal. Absolutely game-changing stuff for Adam Wharton. And, of course, Crystal Palace coming out on top with a 2-1 win over Aston Villa to get themselves through to a final. 2-1 win was my scoreline. 3-0 win was the actual scoreline. Not only did they get there, but they got there in style. Goodness gracious me. So, happy for Adam Wharton, happy for Crystal Palace. Let's see if they can go the distance when they take on the winner of this match, which was, of course, well, I went with a 2-0 win for Manchester City, but it was, in fact, a 2-0 win for Man City. Got that one spot on the nose. Goodness gracious me. Yeah, City have had pretty much a bit of a dismal season for them from their point of view. A bit of a crappy Champions League exit, not the best in the league either. And, of course, the League Cup also ended prematurely, with only this being the possible curtain raiser, or at least curtain closure for the season. Can they get the distance? Go the distance, of course, at Wembley, where they know it so well. We'll have a look in just a second. And before all that, we are going to, of course, take a little look at how we got to this stage. This, is, of course, is a quick rundown of some of the last 16s all the way through to the final. Let's take a little look at the route that is Manchester City. They did take care of business against Plymouth Argyle side, who did knock out Liverpool. Into the quarterfinals, they took on Bournemouth, and again, they navigated that passage before beating Nottingham Forest. If you look at Crystal Palace journey, maybe I would say a significantly more challenging. Millwall, they bypassed an all-London affair there, then another all-London affair where they took on Fulham and navigated that bad boy in the quarterfinal stages before eliminating Aston Villa on their way through to a final, of course. So, yeah, kudos. I'm very happy to see Crystal Palace at this stage, but can they go the distance and go for glory into this one then? Well, let's take a look at it, shall we, under the microscope. Alrighty then, folks, let's take a look at these two sides that are going to lock horns over at Wembley on the 17th of May. That's right, Crystal Palace on Oliver Glasner. They're coming into this right here, right now. I am recording this a little bit early, but they're coming into this on 42% form for them right now. That's unbeaten in the last 4 matches. However, when you look at those last 6, there's only 1 win in the last 6. I take it on the Manchester City side, who are fresh off the back of a draw against Southampton. A bit of a dismal, anticlimactic performance by those guys. But prior to that, they won 5 on the spin. 90% form for Pep's boys. And again, massive, massive weight on the shoulders despite being so successful over the years. They to come away from this season with nothing could be a bit of a something that they couldn't shrug off, of course. And again, we still don't know the outcome of those 115 charges. Could this season go from bad to worse with, of course, this FA Cup final disaster? Anyway, these two sides have played 37 times since 1994. 6 wins, Crystal Palace, 23 wins for Man City. There's been 8 draws between the two sides. Now, of those 37 matches and those 6 wins for Crystal Palace, they have a 2-0 win on the record. They've got 35 goals scored against Man City, and they've got a 0.95 goals a game ratio. As for the opposition, Man City, they have a 5-0 win on the record against Palace. 81 goals scored in those 37 games, picking up a 2.19 goals a game ratio. So definitely outshooting Crystal Palace heading into this one. Now, it doesn't really get much better for Man City, to be honest with you. Over the last 6, Man City are unbeaten against Palace, picking up 4 wins and a couple of draws. Maybe that's what Crystal Palace will have to do is grind this sucker out, take it to penalties, and hope for the bloody best. This season they have played twice. One time at Selhurst Park, it was a 2-2 draw, so not too shabby. But of course, when they did play at Manchester over at the Etihad, it was a 5-2 win for City way back in April. Now, coming into this, I am recording this a little bit early. On my record, Palace took on Forest last time around. That was back on the 5th of May. They'll be taking on Spurs on the 11th. Take from that what you will. And of course, the Man City just finished. Final whistle has gone. And they did draw with Southampton to make it back-to-back clean sheets. In fact, 3 clean sheets on the spin. So they're playing very good defensive football, not conceding any goals. A goalless affair against the bottom of the club, one of the worst Premier League clubs in history. Not the best preparation for this one. Now, quickly, the bookies' odds for this game only. We're talking about the 90-minute mark here. So 7-2 is your Palace here for the bookies' odds. 13-8 on is your City, and 7-2 is, of course, the draw. And of course, if it was to go to a draw, then of course we're looking at something else to lift the trophy outright. Man City, of course, overwhelming favourites. Crystal Palace, massively out-fancied, and of course the underdog. So what is my gut on this one? Those are all the numbers or the stats. We've also got a simulation out there where we played this game 100 times and of course showcase the results via a supercomputer, otherwise known as Football Manager. So check that video out as well. It's difficult. It's difficult to call. Man City are not as best as not as good as they can be. However, some of the key people are coming back at just the right time. Rodri's back, Haaland is back. But of course, they were back for the Southampton game, which of course was just last week. So I think they're going to come into this a little bit leggy, and maybe come into this with a bit too. Even though they're playing good football, I think they're going to come here with a bit too much of a swagger, and I think they might be getting ahead of themselves. I don't think you can write off this Crystal Palace side. They've been playing phenomenal football. Glass the ball is at its full throttle here. And I think it's a pleasure to see Crystal Palace. And to be honest with you, I think the squad that's been built at Palace deserves some recognition. And I think they will play the game of their lives, the games of the skin here, and get a result. I think Crystal Palace are going to come out on top and win this game. It's going to be tight. It's going to be fine margins. I'm going to go with a 2-1 lead. Maybe a 1-0 lead by Crystal Palace. City level it. And then we're going to have some limbs at the end where Palace not only win this game, but become FA Cup champions for the first time in forever. I don't even know when the last time they won. But, of course, a pathway to Europe. And we can see the likes of Adam Wharton perhaps sticking around for another season at Palace. And maybe giving them a chance to compete in the Europa League. So, kudos. And that's my take. Let me know your thoughts and opinions as we look forward to the FA Cup just around the corner. Make sure you smash the like, smash your subscribe. We've got a non-stop business coming at the channel over the next few weeks into the summer and beyond. But until then, subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. We'll see you on the return. But until then, we're done.